Happy New Year, and hopefully everybody is doing or starting decent for 2025. But if you're not a subscriber, please go in there and hit that subscribe button, that like button, comment, um, and then check out my other videos and do the same thing. So, anyway, I just wanted to get on here and tell you, I've went back into door dashing and probably been doing it about let's see, not this Thursday, I would say maybe about 2 weeks now. I started again right before, like the Thursday before Christmas week. So anyway, so that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I ended up getting, like, I would say about $300. So in 4 days, and it wasn't me, like, I was kind of experimenting as well, trying to figure out what works best, and what I need to do to make the most amount of money. Like for your lunchtime, you want to generally look around anywhere from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. Then for the big money is when it's like about dinner time. So you're thinking about around 3:30 to, just depending on how the night goes, 3:30 to about 10. But sometimes after about 7 or 8 p.m., it kind of dies down a lot, and you notice that there's a lot of wait time for orders to come in. So, so for me doing it for those 4 days, I was experimenting a little bit. And like I said, I made almost about $300 or so. And then, so during the week, let's see, like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So that was obviously a Tuesday and a Wednesday. Now, I was hoping that those days would be pretty good, but honestly, those days kind of sucked. Like, I didn't, I made okay. But I didn't make anything better than I would do on a normal, like, regular, just weekday. But New Year's Eve and New Year's Day were very, very good. So I'm just assuming it's probably because, a lot of more businesses were closed on Christmas and Christmas Eve than New Year's and New Year's Day. And then, of course, I actually did my first alcohol delivery during New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So, there's always that. So if you're a dasher and you want to deliver alcohol, basically you're going to have, they give you a test that you have to get 100% on. You can't miss any questions. But they're pretty much common sense. If you're older like me, I'm 42, these things are just common sense. So you should be able to do that. Also, how to increase how much you get is having a pizza bag. So this is something that, so if you want to go get pizza orders, which honestly, those are the best ways to get money on DoorDash, because a lot of times, sometimes you'll get like 2 orders at once from the same pizza place, and generally here in Kansas City, it seems like it's mostly Papa John's, and then some Pizza Huts and stuff like that, and then some other, like, single chains pizza places. But Papa John's is where it's at. So here's a little trick, and this is something I figured out because at first, in order for you to get a pizza bag, um, DoorDash wants you to buy one for $11 to get a pizza bag, but you don't got to do that. If you want a pizza bag, just go to a actual Papa John store, and most all of them have it, and even some Pizza Huts have it, but they get sent boxes like of the DoorDash version pizza bags. So if you ask them if they have a pizza bag, they'll just give it to you for free. So don't go spending that $11 at DoorDash to buy a pizza bag. Um, Now, if you can get at least 2 pizza bags, so sometimes they'll just give you them, or you can just have one, and then if you happen to get a second dashing order at the same place, be like, hey, do you have another pizza bag? And generally they'll be like, yeah. And if you can have at least 2, I think you're gonna be all right with the pizza, because sometimes you'll get 2 orders, or sometimes someone will order a whole bunch of stuff, and you could probably fit 4 to maybe 5 full pizzas into one bag. But sometimes they'll have other stuff too, like desserts or just things like that. But anyway, 2 seems to be a good amount. I'm sure if you had more than that, it'd probably just make things even more easier. But definitely, those are things. Don't buy your own pizza bag. Just go to Papa John's or Pizza Hut, and generally they'll have them for free, and they'll just give them to you. Um, Now, so pizza is definitely where it's at. Alcohol, I haven't noticed really too much of, because I haven't gotten too many of them orders. But one of the alcohol delivery orders, that was one of my bigger dasher amounts that I got. It was like $19.59 or something, just for delivering, picking up some alcohol and delivering it to them. So just one thing you want to remember is, before you even hand over the alcohol, you have to scan the back of their ID. So just remember that. Don't even try to let them touch the alcohol until you've scanned the back of their ID. It's just like if you were to go to a liquor store. Kind of just think of it that way. But so anyway, on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, so both of those days together, I made a little over $200, and I did Christmas, or I did New Year's Eve, a lot longer. I actually scheduled myself, from 3:30 to 2:30 a.m. But what I did is I took a break in between, just because to be driving around and doing it that much, I needed a little bit of a break, so you can pause your dash. And so that's kind of what I did. I paused my dash for a little while, and then I went back out at it, and then I think I did my last dash around right after midnight, like, so right into 2025. But that day it was just like mainly just pizza, because people, obviously, that's the easiest and best thing to order on especially New Year's Eve. So anyway, so that was like $200 and stuff. And so how dashes work, and you may know this, but like, once you give your routing number and your debit card and all that kind of stuff, your routing number is something that you want to, like, if you're going to change it or put a new one, you're going to want to do it on a Monday, because that allows you to get paid once a week, every Monday. So if you didn't cash out your dashes, you're going to get paid on a Monday, but sometimes it doesn't clear for a couple days. So just keep that in mind. But anytime you change your information on there, like your routing number or your debit card or whatever, it takes like 7 to 10 days before it'll clear on their end, and then you're able to do anything. So if you're gonna want to get paid once a week, just keep that in mind. Try to do it on a Monday, and then generally they'll get you paid the next Monday if you haven't cashed out already. Now, cashing out early is where you need your debit card information. So just keep in mind that even with that, it takes 7 to 10 days. So you won't get your money right away. But let's say you need your money right now, you don't want to wait till Monday. Well, it's going to charge you like $1.99 to do a fast withdrawal, and you'll get your money instantly, and that's where your debit card comes into play. So keep that in mind, because I mean, sometimes you need to get gas or unexpected expenses or whatever. So that's always something good to have as a backup. I don't recommend trying to take out every day, because really, if you're like me and you're doing this because you're trying to get money to pay bills and make sure you have that much, if you're taking your money out every day, I mean, it's better to see like once a week, oh, I made this much this week and I made this much this week. So, and you have a bigger lump sum, weekly. Now, this is something that try not to forget about, because if you're a dasher, remember this, because I didn't even think about it really until I noticed it, like, okay, well, my weekly pay should have been this, right? Well, I didn't realize that there was a few times because I just accept every dash. Like, it doesn't matter what it is for me. And there's things that I'm doing now that I'm going to start, and I'll explain to you, but like, that I'm starting to notice. So I might decline a dash or something like that. But sometimes you'll get a dash where it says cash on delivery. So when they do that, so like, let's say it's a pizza place and their total for their pizza was $32.99. And it says cash on delivery. What that means is if you accept that, you're gonna go there and you're gonna be like an old-fashioned, old-school pizza guy. And how that used to be is, the customer would give you the driver cash to pay for their pizza, and they'll give you a tip. So keep in mind, if you do that, that is going to come out of your weekly pay, or if you decided to cash out early, that's going to probably come out of that as well. So, like, to give you an example, those 4 days that I worked and then I got paid that Monday, it was supposed to be like 300 or something like that, but it was actually only like 270 or something. And I was thinking, what the hell is going on? I should have like at least 40 extra dollars or something. And then so I realized, oh yeah, it was because I did the cash on delivery thing on one of the dashes. So just keep that in mind. If you see that and you don't want to deal with that and you just want to make sure you're getting the right amount when you get paid, just keep that in mind. You don't have to accept it. I think if you don't accept it, it doesn't go against your rating or whatever. At least I think that's what it said. So just keep that in mind. Now the bad side to that is I've got my first two, and it was all on the same day. It was on New Year's Eve, where I did 2 cash on deliveries, and I show up there and they pay me exactly what the pizza costs, and they didn't tip me at all. So I got my first ever 2 on the same day, no tips. Now, I felt kind of bad. they were little old ladies. I mean, even using walkers, they could, it was just, so all I did was like, it's all right, just, maybe leave me good ratings or something, which I don't think they did, but I'm like, just have a happy New Year's, all that, and I just went on my way. But keep in mind, sometimes that could happen too if you do cash on delivery. So, with that being said, there's a few tips for you if you're deciding to do door dashing. Now, it can be really, really good. It just depends on what area and what zone you're trying to go to. So that kind of leads me to my next point. What I'm starting to do now is, because something that I'm hating that I'm noticing that they're doing is, the zone that I do is a pretty big zone. And I notice that when I start getting like um, orders on the outskirts of this zone, like, so I live in Kansas City, so the places I absolutely do not want to go is somewhere like south of the river, like right into downtown Kansas City. And it's mainly because it's so cluttered. There's one-way streets everywhere. There's all these like really rich people that live in these like really expensive apartments that are right off of like Main Street and things like that, that are like only a one-way street. There's no parking like on the side of the street. So I mean, what do you do in that situation? Like for me, like I'm sitting here confused. Unless they meet me outside, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is just horrible. And it just takes so much more extra time, which is time you could be using to make more money. So, I mean, there's been times where I went into the middle lane and just turned on my hazard lights and just got out of my car real quick and ran inside. So what I've been noticing, what I've been trying to do now is, before I accept a dash, is I look at the little map that pops up and I look at where the business is that I have to go, and then I look at the little house icon, and where that is. And if it's below the river on the picture, I will decline it now, because it just affects. I mean, yes, declining means, your acceptance rate, you're lowering that, which that's not good if you want to like reach, gold or platinum status, which I just reached platinum status like a few days ago, so, which means more perks for me. But so I'm trying to look for that more, because the further that the business is away from the actual house, obviously the more time it takes. So, and the reason why I say start looking at that is because, unless you're doing, because DoorDash now has, so before you start to dash, you can either get paid by the job or you can get paid hourly plus tips. So per job plus tips, or hourly plus tips. Now, here, if you choose the hourly button, because I experimented with both, you're gonna get $12.50 an hour plus tips. So that could be good if you're doing like grocery deliveries and things of that nature, or you're doing those things where it's going to take a lot of time in order to complete it. But theoretically, you should be able to get 2, 3, maybe even 4 dashes done in an hour, depending on where they're located. So if that's the case, getting paid by the job is actually better than getting paid by the hour. So just keep that in mind. If you plan on only just doing like DoorDash grocery shopping or something like that, then maybe getting paid by the hour would be good. Because just to give you an example, like, so if, let's say it takes you 30 minutes to get this thing and get it delivered to the person, and it takes you 30 minutes, and it says $12.50 an hour plus tips. Well, you're only getting $6.25 for that delivery, plus if they left you a tip. And a lot of times people don't leave that big of a tip. So you're really relying on getting paid by the job. Um, so to to put it in the other perspective, generally most times I do a dash, I'm getting anywhere from, I would say, $8 to $12. So that's just an average per delivery. So if I do 4 of those in an hour, then, let's just say 10. I mean, let's just say I made $30 in 1 hour. So I think it's depending on where you're at and what you're trying to do with DoorDash. I think choosing the getting paid by the job plus tips is going to be better for you, and you're going to make a little bit more money than getting paid per hour on the tips. So you don't get paid per hour the entire time you're active as the dasher. You're only getting paid per hour as soon as that dash thing pops up and you hit accept. And once you hit accept, that's when your time starts. So just think of it like that. But those are just little tips and tricks that I've learned so far. I've gotten platinum status recently, so I'm noticing a few changes. Supposedly I'm getting priority on bigger dashes and more and higher paying dashes, as well as just like having access to certain things that I wasn't accessed to before. I'm not really seeing it too big of a difference with that, except for it does seem like I'm making a little bit more money. And then also I have access to Dash Now, which means, before you have to wait for the zone that you're trying to work to pop up red. Well, now, like, if I wanted to, I don't think it has to be completely red. That it turns it to like a lighter shade of red, and I can dash pretty much when I want to, uh, with that early access to dashing. The other advantage that I've noticed is I can actually schedule my dashes a lot easier now because of platinum status. So I get more options when it comes to scheduling my, like, when I want to work. Um, so, it's not inconceivable, just depending on the zone you pick and the times that you pick. If you, like I said, if you do like a couple hours during lunch and then you do, the majority of your hours, like let's just say you do 4 hours during dinner time, and you do like, a couple hours during lunch. Let's just say you do 6 hours in that day worth of dashing. Um, it's not inconceivable that you can get anywhere from 80 to $100, just depending on how it works. Now, some nights are going to be better than others. I mean, there was one night I did 8 hours, but I only ended up getting like $70. Well, that's still not bad. Now compared to like other jobs, I mean, you're getting paid, if you're working a, what, $15 an hour job or something, you're actually getting paid more to do door dashing. And a lot of times now too, it's contactless. So a lot of times the customer will say, hey, hand it to me, but most of the time it's just they want you to leave it on their front door, and then DoorDash makes you take a picture of it. So it's really quick when it comes to like just dropping off the orders. So that's always a plus side. Now there's some downsides, like sometimes you get to a business and it's not ready yet, and so then you have to wait a few minutes. But I mean, other than that, it's not too bad. Now sometimes you'll run into businesses that are kind of, they just want to be a pain they just want to be a pain, and it's no matter what. And I get where they're coming from. And I'll just name one place, Denny's. Okay, so I had an order at Denny's. I get there and they're not getting the dashes sent over to their system. So they were having trouble with it all day. Well, the manager, she refused, like the next step. When you're a dasher, you have really no access to getting a hold of DoorDash itself. So you can't like really call them and be like, hey, this is the problem. Can you get the order sent over? And then you have to wait even longer for the food to get cooked. It takes money out of your pocket is what it does, because it's taking that time that you could be doing other dashes. But the next step is you're supposed to, like, it shows you what the customer orders once you arrive at the place. And so then what you're supposed to do is try to get them to get the order manually off of your phone, and then they can put it in and then they can get it started and this and that. Well, she was refusing to do that because she wanted to get it sent from DoorDash, the ticket itself. That way she knew that she would get paid. Because, and I understand where she's coming from, because you don't know if that order got canceled or whatever the case is, or you don't even know if DoorDash doesn't send it over to her, then how is she really for sure that she's going to get paid back or reimbursed back for that? So I get it on that end, but when that situation happens and you're there already for 30 minutes or more and you're trying to figure it out and you're trying to make the person happy, just stay in contact with the customer. Like, you have the little text thing or the call button, which doesn't show your number to them. It routes you through like a DoorDash number, but let them know what's going on. Hey, like, your order's not even in the system, or hey, haven't even started it. They didn't even start it until I got here. It's going to be a little bit longer. As long as you're talking to your customer, or you're letting DoorDash know what's going on, that's always for the best. But in that situation, when you're there that long, they did make an option now where you can go in and unassign yourself to the dash. Now, I'm not sure if it affects your ratings. It might affect your completion rating. So just keep that in mind if you're looking to keep your ratings high. But sometimes you just got to do that, because I mean, if you're already spent 30 minutes at a place waiting for food, and then you're going to go and then finally, if you get it and you try to go dash and you did one dash in 1 hour because you've been spending time waiting, you lost money. But then again, if you're not communicating with the customer, more than likely they're going to start giving you bad ratings or maybe comments or whatever the case is. So you got to do what you got to do. So if you have to unassign yourself as a dasher and then someone else gets sent your way, then you just got to do it. I mean, it may affect your ratings and stuff, but I mean, ultimately you're there to make money, and you get make money by the job. So yeah, now that situation, it would have been best to get paid by the hour, but like I said, most times it's better to just do it by the job. If you're wondering what's better, just keep that in mind. But so like I said, if you're working 6 hours, it's very possible, if you do it during those certain hours and times, it's very possible to get, at least $50 on a bad night, and up to, like $100 for like 6 hours. Now, if you're crazy and you want to go all day, all night, whatever, that's great. You could probably make a lot more than that. I don't know about you, but like sitting that long in a car or whatever, things get a little sore. Need a moment. So, but other than that, I just wanted this to be an informative video on like DoorDash, and just in case anyone else decides they want to get into it or do it. Also give you a little sneak peek at like what I have to go through and what I've been dealing with. Um, and you know, if you guys want to know more, if you guys want to help, like I'll take anything I can get. I want to make different content on here, but I also think that I haven't been making a lot lately because of all the stuff that I've been going through, and maybe, you know, maybe this video will help you guys understand, and maybe you guys will know kind of what's going on. Um, it's been really hard, and my bank has just been screwing me over. So I'm done with them. So I'm in the process of trying to do all this other stuff. Like I'm trying to get a different bank, close my bank, um, you know, and then also, try to work the correct times a day for dashing and stuff like that, and then also, dash enough to where I can make money in order to pay rent and, bills and utilities and stuff. So um so far, DoorDash is doing pretty good. So um, don't let it discourage you. Just, do it during the right times, do the right things that I've suggested, and you should do okay. If not better than okay, you might even do better than me. And I'm not even saying I do that great, but um, you know, I think right now I'm doing pretty good as far as doing door dashing and making decent money. So anyway, with that being said, if you like the video and you want to know more about this stuff, or if you want to know more what's going on with me, and all the crap that I've been going through, if you want to help me, anything like that, I do have Cash App and PayPal, but also more than anything, just, if you like the video, hit like. I could definitely use more subscribers. I think I'm at 40. That's okay. I like 40. I mean, but it'd be good to have more of you guys in there, and you know, hitting that like, and also just talking to me. I mean, I've only had like maybe 2 different people make comments. So yeah, definitely, let me know what you think of the video. If you want to know more about something, or something like that, I can probably make another video on it, or I can respond to you in a comment. So anyway, just stuff to think about, if you're deciding to do door dashing or anything like that. It's something that really could help, like especially if you just want a little extra money because of the holidays as well.